Quick update for developers. MiniMax launched MiniMax H3. It produces native stereo 2K clips from 4 to 15 seconds. DeepSeek released DeepSeek V4 Flash 0731 with agentic gains. Supabase open-sourced Supabase Evals, a benchmark for agents on real Supabase tasks. LingBot Map published a GPU-aware streaming 3D reconstruction tutorial. Start with MiniMax. The company published MiniMax H3 on July 31, 2026. It is available as Model ID MiniMax-H3 in the API and the Halo app. H3 reads text, images, video, and audio together and generates native stereo 2K video in 4 to 15 second integer clips. MiniMax claims an H3-VAE tokenizer that gives a 4x effective sequence length gain. DeepSeek released DeepSeek V4 Flash 0731 on July 31st. The base is 284 B parameters. The repo with DSpark totals 304 B parameters. V4 Flash activates about 13 B per token and supports a 1M token context window. Supabase published Supabase Evals on August 1st under the Apache 2.0 license. It boots containerized, hosted-like stacks and uses deterministic checks, plus an LLM judge. LingBot Map's tutorial demonstrates GCT stream, GPU probing, mixed precision, and export to PLY, NPZ, or GLB. MiniMax H3's key claims are unified omnimodal context, an H3-VAE tokenizer with a 4x effective sequence length gain, and in-context regeneration for fine detail. MiniMax reports about a 30% training throughput improvement from the H3 Omni Transformer. Typical source material requires about 100,000 tokens, distilled to around 4,000 tokens on average. DeepSeek retrained V4 Flash and attached DSpark speculative decoding. The model supports a 1M token context, MoE routing with 256 routed experts per layer, and 6 routed experts fire per token. DSpark's paper reports 60 to 85% faster per user generation. API pricing lists 14 cents per 1 million input tokens on cache miss and 28 cents per 1 million output tokens. How do these systems work under the hood? MiniMax H3 reads all modalities as one long context. H3-VAE compresses tokens with a reported 4x effective sequence gain. The H3 Omni Transformer separates understanding and generation workloads. In-context regeneration regenerates low-resolution output conditioned on the full context to recover small text and detail. DeepSeek V4 Flash is a mixture of experts model. The 284B base activates about 13 B parameters per token. Each MoE layer has one shared expert and 256 routed experts. 6 routed experts fire per token. The attention is a hybrid of compressed sparse attention and heavily compressed attention. DSpark speculative decoding creates a short draft, then finalizes to reduce latency. Supabase Evals runs containerized test stacks with prompt.md and eval.ts scorer files. LingBot Map's GCT stream uses streaming KV cache, camera refinement, GPU probing, mixed precision, and exports PLY or GLB. What do these changes mean for developers and platforms? MiniMax H3 is available through API now, not for self-hosting. That suits studios and e-commerce teams that want fast production clips without managing GPUs. Third-party trackers reported about 13 cents per second for 2K, roughly $1.95 for a 15-second clip, but treat that as reported. DeepSeek offers MIT licensed weights for self-hosting. Community builds put an 8-bit lossless build at 162 GB and a 3-bit build at 103 GB, needing roughly 110 GB of combined RAM plus VRAM. DeepSeek API pricing lists 14 cents per 1 million input tokens on cache miss and 28 cents per 1 million output tokens. That is lower than DeepSeek V4 Pro output pricing, reported higher. Supabase Evals runs locally via PNPM and is Apache 2.0, so teams can add it to CI. LingBot Map's GPU probing and mixed precision kicks work in Colab or on a single GPU to reduce memory spikes and export PLY or GLB. Practical implications. MiniMax H3 aims to replace specialist video stacks with one omnimodal model that can cut pipeline complexity for ad agencies and e-commerce teams that produce many variants. In-context regeneration improves legibility and small text in frames. DeepSeek's retraining and DSpark reduce latency and token cost, important for agentic loops and coding assistance. DeepSeek publishing weights under MIT enables self-hosting for research and enterprises. Supabase Evals runs agents on realistic cloud tasks like schema changes and failed edge functions and records regressions daily. That helps platform teams measure agent reliability. LingBot Map converts frames into validated point clouds and exportable artifacts for robotics and AR prototyping. Caveats and open questions. MiniMax's pricing was reported by third parties. The 13 cents per second and $1.95 per 15-second clip should be treated as reported. H3 still needs large multimodal context, and cost scales with input material. DeepSeek self-hosting requires substantial memory. Community builds report 103 to 162 gigabytes for quantized builds, and roughly 110 gigabytes of combined RAM plus VRAM. Supabase Evals runs daily regression suites, while the public benchmark is fixed, so scores can differ. LingBot Map is a tutorial. Adapting it to full SLAM or long sequences needs extra engineering. How do these moves fit the market? MiniMax aims to consolidate specialized video stacks into one omni-modal model. Coverage says H3 leads in editing, but trails Gemini Omni Flash in text-to-video and behind Cadence 2.0 and Gemini in image-to-video. DeepSeek continues the industry trend. MOE models optimized for long context and agentic tasks with open weights. Supabase adds grounded, environment-specific evals. LingBot Map joins streaming 3D toolkits that emphasize memory control and export. Takeaway: media teams should test MiniMax H3 via API for variant generation and legibility. Teams running agents and token-intensive loops should benchmark DeepSeek V4 Flash for cost and latency. Platform teams should add Supabase Evals to CI to measure agent reliability on real cloud tasks. Use LingBot Map's GPU probing to stabilize streaming 3D inference on limited hardware. All primary sources and technical details are linked in the description. Please check the model cards, the Supabase repo, and the LingBot Map notebook for configuration and reproducible steps.